Well, it's the West Virginia Call-In Show. It's Thursday. Eric, you ready for another show?
Let's do this, man. I'm back in Studio A.
No, let's do it. So we're gonna do a couple things, maybe a little different today. We're gonna go through what happened last week, just to kind of, last week was a rough go. There was a lot of penalties, some problems. Um, Mostly with intensity and culture building. So Rich Rod has a certain way of running a program, and it didn't seem like he was happy with the team's effort. So we're going to start off with Eric. Do you think that there's a problem with the culture, or the fact that they're losing is they just need to kind of take a step back and keep an eye on whether or not they think they can win a couple games?
I definitely think there's a problem there with keeping these players' attention. This is a rough go. It's rough for us as fans. Can you imagine it as a player on the field? Definitely difficult to keep your focus, stay intense, not take plays off. There's no doubt about it. Now, is that a culture problem? I don't know that it's a culture problem. I think it's probably more of a condition of the events. What's happening right now? And if it is a culture problem, Rich will take care of it pretty quick.
And
What
what
do you,
gets
what do you think?
excited than gear, right? Like a slick uniform, maybe a little bit of motivation there, a little bit of playing time. We're going to talk a little bit about maybe some new folks at offensive line, but this is the second annual Coal Rush game. Last year, West Virginia got smacked. They had a guy named Higgins. And now an NFL talent at receiver against Iowa State last season. They had a rough loss, but they're going to feature those black uniforms. Look really good. They had a little about an hour ago. A clip came out that showed Mountaineer in a uniform in the coal mine. I thought it was a little hokey, but as I watched it, I'm like, this is kind of nice. It was tribute to the coal mining industry. My dad was a coal miner for 28 years, so in Pennsylvania, but in the state of West Virginia, it is like a rite of passage. Everybody knows someone or has a relative that is in the mines. So Saturday night against TCU, they'll be rocking the Coal Rush unis. What do you think?
I love this. I'm a big fan of having multiple uniforms. I think that it helps with recruiting, helps with sales, helps with fan interest. Um, it's a great idea, and in the absence of better play, it's something to be excited for.
Yeah, even because especially with the team losing 4 games in a row, and they've lost, like, there weren't close games. They're like 172 to 61. They got stomped. So I don't really know. I'm going to actually go to the game, TCU game. It's going to be a 6 o'clock kickoff. It'll be fun. It's
Hmm.
different. And if it was a 2 or 1 o'clock game, or maybe even a 4, I might not have went. But because it's going to be a night game, there's a different atmosphere. But it's going to be hard to kind of. I don't really know how many folks are going to be in Morgantown. Uh, the Coal Rush may draw some fans, but a lot of folks are going to just stay home, I think. Because uh, do you think the Boo Birds are going to be there, or are they going to be the ones that are staying at home?
This is a great question, man. Well done. Uh, there's a lot going on for this homecoming. If you haven't been paying attention, there's a lot of things going on. They're going to have the basketball team's going to have a basketball court set up at Woodburn Circle, so people can come by. I don't know which night that's going to be, but that'll be something to look up and see what's going on there. But that's going to bring a lot of folks in. Uh, Having an all-day tailgate, for homecoming, where it's a night game, you got nice weather. People aren't going to be dehydrated and roasting. It's going to be a nice day on Saturday. There's plenty. I think we're going to have a good showing, at least at the start.
I didn't look at the
But
weather. What's the weather going to be?
I think you're looking at the low 60s.
Okay,
Um,
I can do
Now
that.
there is a chance of rain, but I don't think it's horrible. But I think you're looking at upper 50s, lower 60s. This is going to be a great environment. So I think you're going to have a decent crowd. Whether everybody chooses to go into the stadium, I don't know. But I think you're going to have a good showing at the start. And if they have something to stick around for, they will. But here's the caveat. Do I think the Boo Birds are going to come out? Yeah, I do. Um, People are frustrated. You got half the season gone by. Um, as ridiculous as I think it is that there's a lot of criticism going on already and people talking about potential coaching changes. People, it's way too early for head coach changes. I do think you're going to see some boo birds if we don't perform well.
Yeah, I think they're definitely out there. I mean, they don't realize that it's year zero, and that seems to be our hashtag, like our catchphrase, year zero. Uh, it's not an excuse; it's a fact. You might not, if you don't like it, it's just it is what it is. But you know, frankly, they have to make some changes, and the Boo Birds are going to be justified if they don't make some changes at offensive line, Eric. Uh, every position has had, oh man, difficulties. Took a ride on the struggle bus, but it seems like the crew, the kids that are driving that struggle bus is the O line. They've been run through the ringer, and Rich Rod, he said, "Hey, listen, we're going to make a few changes, but this might be the week he does." So they've been really bad, particularly in pass blocking. I mean,
Oh,
they're talking 7 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss against UCF. So I don't know, Eric. You think they
I
have it? I mean, they're putting the best guys out there. So are they just going to put new guys that suck in? I don't know.
I got a question for you. So something to consider, because I think we're all struggling with this. I don't care if you're a fan, a player, a coach, anybody who's got an interest. Something occurred to me that I haven't heard many people talking about and listening to all the other programs. You ready? Maybe an original thought here. Maybe if I asked you which side of your offensive line do you put your best players? Where
Mm,
traditionally speaking do you put them? Which
left side,
side?
left side,
Why?
because that's the quarterback's blind side. But here you had 2 lefties, so I think they're putting them on the right side. So I think they're kind of adjusting back to the normal operating,
Yes.
mode for a typical offensive line. So
And think about that. They haven't had long to do that because you've had 2 games.
yeah,
And so I think if you have practiced, and now mind you, that's 3 weeks though, because in the middle of those 2 games, you had a bye week.
mhm.
But if you've been practicing since, let's say, last spring, uh, that's a lot of time to develop a strategy and overall, techniques, all that stuff. You've had 3 weeks to correct it. So I think that might be some of the problems we're seeing. That being said, they haven't performed well. The only time that I saw something encouraging was against Pitt. Um, and quite honestly, I think having Ty Edwards in made that big a difference. That at that point we made Pitt stay home a little bit more as opposed to just bringing pressure every play. But anyway, just something to think about. Maybe that is part of the issues we're facing at right this point right now.
That's a great observation. I didn't even think of that. I mean, we talked about that to start the season. The fact that they had an off, I think the center was left-handed. No, we talked about the fact that Pat White and the center Dan Moses were both left-handed,
Yes.
and now 20 years later you have 2 quarterbacks, Jalen and Nico both being lefties. But now you're back to the normal right-hand guys. That's a great observation. I didn't even think of that. Uh,
Thank you. I'll expect a bonus in my paycheck, please.
yeah, exactly. We'll give you the bonus there. Uh,
Okay.
you so you know Rich Rod's been around a minute, 20 plus years, and
Hmm.
he's known for you know. I looked at the stats. They say he is run heavy, no huddle, but he there were periods of time in his career where he kind of shifted more towards passing, but he does like to run heavy, know how to attack. Likes to get the ball in space and have these quick guys make plays. Now, there has been some issues, like Cam Vaughn and Rodney Gallagher have not been able to break away and get those big splash plays. They've combined, I think, the past 3 games for 17 touches, and Gallagher got the ball a few times to run, but I'm looking to see, through the conference, what if they're going to be able to, make some big splash plays, or is the last episode we had is you got what you got. This is the best we have. Is this the best we have with them, or they still have a higher ceiling, especially Cam Vaughn and Rodney Gallagher? If we have a little bit of better play and the pass protection, maybe they can break away. I don't know, Eric. I'm questioning myself. I'm asking you, what do you think? Cam Vaughn, Rodney Gallagher the third, are these guys? They have some upside still.
There's no doubt in my book, in my opinion. Look, Gallagher, I expected him to have a breakout season. I think Cam took most people a little bit by surprise because we just weren't familiar with him. But that guy is definitely he has the kind of talent that I could see him playing on Sundays. Gallagher, I think, has the potential, but he hasn't been able to show it yet. The big thing is that you really need to get. So a couple things. I think we've got to get the pass going first to open up the run, which is backwards of traditional. And the reason being is that if you can get the ball behind that defensive line successfully, which is what was happening with Ty Edwards, he was breaking contact. He was getting behind that defensive line. You can't, if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you can't just bring pressure. You've got to keep people home to basically build a wall to make it more difficult to run through. If that wall is running past you as you're running past it, it's easier to get past it. So we need to get the pass first. Now, here's the thing. I think that Captain Gallagher and Preston Fox are both guys who are great possession receivers, very reliable. I think I think that Gallagher's a better runner. So definitely there. And if you can do that, now you can maybe get some deep throws downfield to Cam.
Yeah.
So, and here's a question for you. I don't know. Sorry to throw you a live grenade, but we're down to really Scotty Fox this week. Sorry to kind of, do a little foreshadowing, but is it time to consider maybe Gallagher? He was a heck of a quarterback in high school. Is it time to consider maybe a trick play? I would love to see them fake a reverse where they hand it to Gallagher, and as he comes around the outside, he throws the deep ball to Cam. I would love to see that. And quite honestly, what do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah, there's going to be gimmick plays, and I'm glad you brought that up because it sets this up. So, you have to kind of go to your plate, your bag of tricks. There's no other way to say it. You have to get a couple big splash plays. You turn the tide, maybe flip the field, and because this is what AI is telling us. The 25th, TCU Horned Frogs come to Morgantown. Home game, 18 to 18.3% chance the Mountaineers win. That's based on the scoring difficulties for the Mountaineers. Okay. November 1st, it gets a little bit better. Okay. An away game against the Houston Cougars, they get to a 20% chance. Okay. So this is now it's saying that a toss-up favors Houston slightly. 20% does not favor anybody slightly. You would not go to Vegas on those odds. No way in hell. Okay. November 8th against the Buffs. And I said this last week, 32 to 32.6%. This is the game I think West Virginia can win. This is the one. So, ChatGPT tells me that this is the most favorable matchup. If West Virginia can get their shit together this week, get a couple plays tied together, get a couple 3-and-outs. That stat might go up. But Arizona State Sun Devils away, 10% chance. Very low. I'm surprised that Arizona State and Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech, they come to Morgantown.
Mm-hmm.
Right after, Thanksgiving. 9%, pretty close to what Arizona State is, but Arizona State is at home. So very low chances to win, close out the season. These next 3 games are critical, just for morale, just for recruiting. I mean, if you're going into someone's house and you're basically saying, hey, I want you to come play ball at West Virginia, and you slide them some cash, you don't want to have 2 wins, Eric. You don't want to have 2 wins. You want to have some success in the Big 12. What are your thoughts?
I think you'd like to be able to show that at the very least you compete. And quite honestly, it's always nice to have wins to attract talent. Everybody wants to go to a winning program. But the next best thing to going to a winning program is going to a program that's on the cusp, where your presence, where you're showing up and playing, you can be the difference maker, knowing that you're going to play a key role. I think that's what we want to do. We want to show that we do have some things to offer. We are going to compete. Don't care how much we may be behind or whatever. At this program, we fight. We play hard. We don't quit. And that's what I want to see. Now, I'd love to see a win. I love your take on the next 2 games. These are the games where I think you've got to. I love the term big splash play. You've got to make some big plays.
Yeah, I didn't coin that phrase. That's Mike Tomlin phrase. He says all kinds of wacky shit. And that's what I've taken. He said, man, we need some big splash plays.
All my Steeler buddies are going to call and give me a hard time now. But yeah, anyway.
So they are who we thought they were. But no, seriously. No, those are the games, these next 3 games where West Virginia, hopefully they have a fighting chance. Being at home, being that Coal Rush game, maybe a little bit extra mojo, kind of like the Pitt game. Pitt's been playing really good ball. It's kind of strange that they're, in the middle of the pack of a stronger ACC. I've been poo-pooing the ACC for years, but this year I think they're a little bit better. But with that, we're going to close the show out with a few picks, and it's not nearly as interesting as it was last week. But I'm going to see if I have my picks here. I'll share that. But so far, Eric, it's been I think West Virginia might turn the corner. I just hope they turn the corner. But let's go over some of these games here. So first of all, this is probably the one I want to watch more than any of them is BYU Iowa State.
Yeah.
Eric, what are your thoughts? I mean, BYU has been your darling program. Iowa State's they've been like a welterweight boxer, kind of like just sticking and moving, kind of just making their way through the schedule.
That's Matt Campbell. I can't go away from my Cougs now. Been showing them love all season. But this is going to be a big test. This is going to be a rough game for them. Iowa State's trying to, prove something. They're trying to come back. They are a good, solid program. There's no doubt in my mind this is going to be a tough matchup. Like you said, I'm going to want to watch this one for sure. But yeah, I'm going with Cougs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's one that Iowa State could steal. This could be one where BYU gets their first loss. Am I going to pick as an upset? This is my upset alert right here. So I'm not picking against BYU, but I'm just like I said with the Louisville Miami game a few weeks back. This is one that I would be really, really blown away if that happens. Another one that's going to be, Washington, Illinois is going to be an interesting game, but it's the Big Ten snooze fest. Missouri, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a good story. They have been historically horrible, bottom of the barrel, and Missouri basically took West Virginia's date to the prom, when they got asked into the SEC, and the Mountaineers stayed at home, holding their corsage. But Vanderbilt, I hope they handle Missouri here. Eric, any thoughts?
That's my upset.
There you go. Missouri beating Vandy. Okay. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Oklahoma State is literally it is the only program in the Big 12 that's probably in worse shape than the Mountaineers. So, but a wounded animal is a dangerous animal, and Texas Tech has them at home, but still, Texas Tech is reeling after that loss. So that's one kind of just pop in, maybe watch on your phone. Baylor and Cincinnati. That's interesting, guys. That's a game that Cincinnati could lose. I would be checking in on that because that's one that's going to come down till the fourth quarter.
I agree on that. That's going to be a good matchup right there. Baylor started the season off pretty well, and then they have had troubles since. So yeah, that's going to be a good one.
These next three games, I don't see them having. It's basically the ranked team's going to win. I don't have any issues there. Boston College, Louisville. I don't know. I think Louisville's due to lose one, but I don't know enough about that. Texas A&M and LSU. This is another upset waiting to happen. Texas A&M is going to take a loss. If you are a betting man, put $20 instead of getting a Big Mac and fries, which is $20. Take that $20, put it on whatever betting app you have, and you bet this game. LSU is going to beat Texas A&M. Mark my words.
I like that call, buddy. LSU is still stinging from the way the season's going. So yeah.
Then Michigan, the big brother, goes into little brother's house in East Lansing, Michigan, which is a great place to watch a ball game. I've been up there a few times. Michigan State, Michigan. This is one you want to pop in and just kind of check what's going on. Michigan State is garbage this year, but anything can happen in a rivalry game. So
completely agree. I'd love to see that school up north get disappointed, see Big Brother go home upset.
Now Tennessee, Kentucky. Kentucky coach is getting heat, but Tennessee is looking pretty good. I think Tennessee handles Kentucky. Houston and Arizona State. This is one. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Arizona State's pretty good. They lost to BYU like in overtime. Arizona State's legit. They're a good squad. They're top 25. Houston, though, might be able to upset them, but they're playing in the desert. I take Arizona State.
Eric? Yeah, I completely agree. I figure Arizona State, nothing inspires a team like almost winning a game they should have won. They are going to be furious over the way that BYU game turned out. Hey, there's Afton.
Oh, the one we didn't have is UCLA and Indiana.
Ooh.
UCLA upset Penn State. I don't think that's happening, Coop. I don't have it on my list here. I could click on all. We go through all games, but I just did featured games because it selects the ones that are interesting.
That's a bold prediction right there.
It could happen. It could happen. I think Indiana has the best resume. They should be number one based on who they've played. Ohio State hasn't played anybody. Next week they play Penn State. Penn State could have a signature win. Penn State's on a bye week. They definitely need it to get their shit together. I don't really know the head coach that they have now. The coach, the acting head coach, seems like a good guy. I think he's in over his head. But you know what? I would love to see a Coach Stewart, Bill Stewart type of thing happen where he beats Ohio State. Everybody rallies around him and gives him the job. Can you see that happening in Happy Valley?
No,
I don't know. I don't care, but they have good ice cream.
I got to agree with you there.
They got good ice cream. Oh, Eric, I'll tell you what. Well, I'm excited about this weekend. It's going to be a good time. Eric, what are your final thoughts for TCU, West Virginia, 6:00 kickoff, Morgantown, West Virginia?
I actually got some potential reason for maybe some hope, which is hard to come by this season. So the reason I was looking for Afton to show up. So K-State did pretty good against TCU.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I think the difference was. They had 2 interceptions. Now, Hoover, the quarterback TCU, he's been doing really well. His numbers are very impressive,
Mm-hmm.
but they have a lot of plays that, how should I say this? They have a lot of pre-scripted plays, I think is the way to say it. He has a lot of faith in his receivers where they know where the play's going before the ball's even snapped is the way I think it. And if you can come up with some interceptions, okay, let's say that, you do that on face value, you've just stopped a score. Now, at that point, if we can do what we've been saying for the last few games, if you can get some quick routes, some slants, other things, so we can maybe get some pressure off the quarterback, if we can get them to just respect the short pass, and maybe you can convert some of those turnovers to touchdowns, you got a chance in this game. And that's now, mind you, that's a 19 or 18% chance, whatever you just said. So I ain't much. I ain't going to Vegas over this. But that's how we could beat this team. Um, TCU's been making a lot of their money through the passing game, and that what they've been doing is that they've been supplementing in the run just to keep people somewhat honest and to make some hay there. But I think that's it to me. Um, this is a great weekend to go and enjoy the experience, brother. I hope you do.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll tell you what. If I'm TCU coming into Morgantown, it's like
mhm,
staring in the barrel, playing Russian roulette, where there's one round in the chamber,
mhm.
and you spin that cylinder. There's a 1 in 6 chance that you're going to get one between the eyes, and the Mountaineers are going to be pulling the trigger, and they're going to be locked and loaded with the musket, not revolver. But those odds are not great, but there's still a chance. And that's, coming into Morgantown, night game, little bit of coal action, a little bit of black and white. The helmets look good. Rich Rod's going to have them strapped up tight, little extra tape, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of speech, little smack on the backside, and they're going to come out some pyro. If you haven't been to a Morgantown night game, they got fireworks going on. They have flames coming out of these 2 things that by the entrance. I don't know if they're going to have a flyover, but it is electric. And the way the lighting works in the stadium is fantastic. It's like a Broadway show or some kind of rock concert. Uh, I'm excited. I mean, I'm going for the spectacle. If the Mountaineers win and I hear Country Roads, that's even better. But, it's pepperoni rolls, moonshine, and I'll tell you what, maybe a win, right? Moonshine,
I,
pepperoni rolls, maybe a win.
let me jump on that with you right for just a moment. What did we build under Rich Rod 1? What built the program more than anything one? And here's a clue. We had a 5-year record of no losses on Thursday night games. Now
Ooh,
that was cool, but so you're like, wait, this isn't a Thursday night game.
it's not.
Excellent point. But here's the thing. You don't play Thursday night games at 2 in the afternoon. You play them at night. So it became that night games in Morgantown were special
Yeah.
under the lights. Rich, it became a thing. The other thing was just the notion of this game is special. This is the coal rush. Rich is a coal miner's son. I guarantee you, like you said, a lot of these players, a good number of them came from Power Four schools, enough of them, but a lot of them are coming up from Group of Five and other and lower level experiences. They're going to see that stadium lit up. They are going to be jacked. This out of between this and Houston, I'll put my money on this game. Either one being 20%, I'm putting my money on this game. If we're going to do it, it's going to be this one.
Yeah, I agree. The weather's going to be decent. I think it's going to be a decent turnout because I think what's happened is ticket prices are reasonable. They're still, $40 bucks. $40 is about the going rate. It's not
Yep.
not $3, not 17, but you can still pick them up. So families can go. It's still going to be a good time. The only problem is people are going to be able to sauce it a little too long. You know, Few can rally about 4 o'clock. I don't know. We'll see what happens with if people can pace themselves. Because back in the day, there were a lot more night games, and people can act like they've been there before. They're not falling asleep at 2 or 3 or passing out or whatever. But no, with that, Eric, I'm excited. You're excited. Hopefully the chat's excited. And like Coop said, I'm gonna put it up here. Shock the nation. Hashtag beat TCU. Hey, have a good one, all. We're going to close this show with the state of West Virginia flag. Good night, Eric. Good night, chat.